Hi, so this is lesson 9-1 warm-up. So this is the last problems that we're going to do on lesson 9-1. So we're going to do these practice problems together, and then you will have a Google form to fill out. So it's everything we've covered from lesson 9-1 so far. So from Tuesday and Wednesday. So you can look back at those lessons for those notes if you need help. I've also posted the notes for today that we're about to do to Google Classroom, so hopefully you have a lot of resources to help you with the form. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is review how to find the 6 trig functions for angle theta. We did this in class on Monday, March 16th, the last time I saw you. Okay, so this is our right triangle, and as you can see, theta is up here. Theta is the marked angle, so straight out from that, 8 would be the opposite side. Okay, so you can't see red very good. I'll change colors. So 8 is the opposite side. 6 is going to be the adjacent side because it's next to the angle. And then across from the 90 is 10, so 10 is the hypotenuse. Okay, now that we know all that, we can find the 3 basic trig functions, sine, cosine, and tangent. And then for the other 3, if you remember from Monday, you're just going to flip it. Okay, so sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, because you have to remember SOH-CAH-TOA. So opposite's 8 over hypotenuse 10. Okay. Cosine theta. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we're going to have 6 over 10. And then for tangent, we're going to have opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 8, adjacent is 6. Okay, so those are the 3 basic trig functions. And to find their reciprocals, you would just flip it. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. Okay, so we're still doing problem 1. So sine was 8 over 10. Cosine was 6 over 10. And tangent was 8 over 6. Okay, now the reciprocals of these, cosecant, so CSC is the reciprocal of sine. So that's 10 over 8, because you just flip it. Secant theta is 10 over 6, so you just flip it. And cotangent of theta is 6 over 8. So those are the 6 trig function values for angle theta on problem number 1. Okay, so I hope that that makes sense and that you remember that from Monday. Now we're going to do problem number 2. Okay, on problem number 2, we're first going to find a missing side using Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to draw the triangle first. Okay, so this is my right triangle. As you can see, theta is here. I need to find this side. So I have 5 and 11. 11 is the hypotenuse. I'm going to label this side B. So in the Pythagorean theorem, we're going to do a squared, so 5 squared, plus b squared equals c squared, and c is 11. So 11 squared. Alright, so we have 25 plus b squared equals 121. Okay, then we're going to subtract 25 from 121, and that equals 96. And if you remember from class on Monday, we're not going to actually find the square root of 96. We're going to just write b equals square root 96. Okay. So then I would totally label this side up here b as square root 96 because we're going to need that in a minute. Okay. So that's how you use Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side. Now we're going to use the three sides here to write the 6 trig functions for angle theta. Alright, so here's theta. This side is opposite, so 5 is opposite. Like I said earlier, 11 is the hypotenuse because it's opposite the 90. And then b is the adjacent side. So square root 96 is the adjacent side. Okay, so now we're going to write the 6 trig functions. Sine 5 over 11 because it's opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, cosine theta is going to be adjacent square root 96 over hypotenuse, which is 11. Okay, and then tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent, so 5 over square root 96. Alright, so those are the 3 basic ones. And like I've said before, we're just going to flip these over for their reciprocals. So cosecant is 11 over 5. Secant is 11 over square root 96. And cotangent is square root 96 over 5. So those are the 6 trig functions for this triangle. Okay. Alright, next we're going to have to use our calculators to find missing sides and angles using sine, cosine, or tangent. Okay, so first I'm going to draw you the triangle. Alright, so this side over here is x. Down here we have 7. This is the right angle. And this little corner angle is 30. So we have to find x. Here's our angle 30. This would be the opposite side. And this is the adjacent side because we don't have the number opposite the 90. So we're not going to use hypotenuse. We're going to use adjacent. Okay? So if you remember SOH-CAH-TOA, opposite and adjacent is tangent. So we're going to use tangent 30 equals x over 7. Okay, now if you remember from my last video, we're going to multiply 7 times tangent 30 to find x. So 7 tangent 30 equals x. Alright, so get out your phone. We're going to use the calculator. I know your phone's probably near you, so it won't be hard to do. Okay, so calculator. You got to turn it sideways. Okay, so we're going to do 7 times 30 tangent, and then equals. Don't forget to press equals. Hang on, my calculator was in the wrong mode. Don't do that either. Okay, so 7, 30, tangent, equals. Alright, so I got 4.04. Now, if we round this to the nearest tenth, like the instructions say, this would just be 4.0. So x equals 4.0, or just 4. Okay. So So I'm going to repeat that one more time since I had a glitch with my calculator. You do 7 times 30 tangent, and then you press equals, and it should pop out 4.04. So you round that to the nearest tenth, and x is 4. Okay. I also put those instructions on your notes that I posted to Google Classroom, so you can follow the instructions there as well. Alright, the next problem looks like this. We got x is the angle, so we're trying to find an angle this time. This side is 4, and this side is 5. Okay, so if this is our angle, this would be the opposite side, so we don't have that. We have adjacent, and we have hypotenuse. Okay, so SOH-CAH-TOA, adjacent and hypotenuse, is cosine. So cosine x equals 4 over 5. Now, this is a problem where we're going to have to use cosine inverse because we're trying to find an angle. So when you're trying to find an angle, you either use sine inverse, cosine inverse, or tangent inverse. So since this is cosine x, we're going to use cosine inverse. Okay? So, on your phone, first you're going to do 4 divided by 5. And then equals. Now, you're going to have to press second because right now it just says cosine. We want cosine inverse. So you press second and then cosine inverse. And it should be 36.9. 36.9. So x is 36.9 degrees. Okay, so that is the warm-up for today. You'll have some problems similar to this on your Google form. I've posted these notes to Google Classroom. I've filled them out so that you can read them later. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope that this helps. I miss you all. Bye.